After my family went bankrupt, my stepmother gave me to a business titan in City A famous heiress. She was a woman of few words, as cold as a robot. She would not let me touch or hug her. Even holding hands came with a time limit, when I could no longer endure her cold treatment, and prepared to run away. Floating comments suddenly appeared before my eyes. Male lead, you fool. She is the only one willing to stand up for you. The titan who will take down your vicious stepmother and two-faced stepbrother. Miss Robot actually likes you so much. She is just terrible with words. Do not believe us. Check her study. Her diary is full of creepy, obsessive little love notes about you. After a moment's thought, I had barely lifted my butt to centimeters off the sofa, when I dropped right back down with a whoosh. Following the comments' directions, I opened the book on Shen Buyu's desk, the one that looked stern, plain, and boring, with its black leather cover, meeting minutes. The comments had not lied. Good lord. Every page was packed with sticky, morbidly obsessive, little diary entries from a lovesick wife. The newest entry was probably written this morning. The ink was still fresh. Hubby wore a white shirt this morning. It was even a little see-through. So handsome. I want him so badly. No. I have to restrain myself, or I will scare hubby. She had pressed down hard on the word scare and traced over it twice. I could feel just how aggrieved she was, but I looked down in confusion. The shirt I was wearing cost only 19.90 yuan on Pinduoduo. It was poor quality and covered in pills. The cheap fabric was so thin, it was practically transparent. Where exactly did Shen Buyu see anything handsome about it? Do business titans all have such unusual taste? Then I recalled this morning, when I walked out of the bathroom wearing this shirt. Shen Buyu's gaze immediately locked onto me. Her beautiful brows drew together, and her mouth turned down. She looked unhappy. I was uneasy then, not knowing what I had done to anger her. After hesitating for a moment, I decided to pretend I had not noticed, lower my head, and quietly pass by her. But suddenly she grabbed my wrist. Her voice was cool, yet carried a lofty, commanding edge. She was cold as ice. Change it. Do not wear this in the mornings again. With that, she pushed back her chair, stood up expressionlessly, and left. I was left standing there, curling my fingers in embarrassment, my heart full of grievance. I had been a pampered young master all my life. People had always fawned over me and catered to me. Why did I have to humble myself now? Why did I have to please such a gloomy, cold woman and let her dictate what I wore? My resentment only grew stronger. So I made a decision at once. I could not stay by Shen Buyu's side any longer. I immediately started packing. I had not realized until I packed that over the past 6 months, Shen Buyu had given me so many things. Gold, silver, jewelry, luxury cars, designer watches. Every last one was valuable. Just packing up all the smaller items exhausted me. There were simply too many. With no dignity left, I sat on the sofa and decided to rest before leaving. If these comments had not suddenly appeared, I would have left already. I never would have imagined that Shen Buyu staring at me so intensely this morning was not her being angry at me. She had actually been close to losing control. She was only afraid of frightening me. The comments kept scrolling. I stared at them in a daze, utterly confused. Shen Buyu likes me. Weren't we just in a purely transactional relationship? Besides, what was there about me for her to like? Our first meeting had been so humiliating, so disgraceful. The year one graduated college, my father became addicted to gambling. He lost the entire family fortune and racked up massive debts. So he chose to end his own life, leaving behind only these words: "Son, Dad will always love you. See you in the next life." Sounds awfully noble, doesn't it? But in front of his memorial hall, I looked at the vicious creditors blocking the entrance, then at my father's black and white photo on the wall. I could not shed a single tear. He got to leave without a care. What was I supposed to do about the debts he left behind? Besides, I was no proper heir to a wealthy family. For 20 years, I had lived in a sheltered bubble, knowing nothing about business. So, to repay the debt, I sold everything valuable I owned. But it was still a drop in the bucket. Every day, I worried over the debt, never noticing that my ever-kind, charitable, and always smiling stepmother was slowly looking at me differently. Her gaze had turned vicious. That night, I attended a business dinner, hoping to secure some emergency funding from a rich young heir. Of course, no businessman is a fool. There was no chance of some rich woman casually sending me 500,000 yuan just to flaunt her wealth. Even though I appealed to their emotions and reason, talking until my throat was dry. They still looked at me with contempt. No one said a word about working together. They only pressured me to drink, half joking and half threatening. I was drunk before long. Being drunk would have been one thing, but soon I found my whole body going limp for no reason. My stepmother appeared at just the right moment, kindly helping me upstairs and into a room. Tripping over my own feet, I barely managed to enter. I was about to collapse onto the bed and sleep, when I suddenly froze. Wait, someone was in the bed. That woman had clearly been drugged too, her breathing heavy. When she saw me approach, she quickly grabbed my hand and seized me by the throat. Get away from me. She seemed to use all her strength. I could not breathe. My survival instinct made me desperately slap at her arm. Amid the chaos, someone pulled open the curtains. In the moonlight, the woman saw my face and suddenly went still. She slowly released me, her voice hesitant. Why is it you? I blinked, not understanding what she meant. With no time to think about it, all I could think was that the woman before me looked delicious. The next morning, before I even woke up, a group of paparazzi suddenly burst in. They expertly raised their cameras at me, and Shen Buyu, snapping photo after photo. The flashes went on for over half a minute. Amid the chaos, Shen Buyu's assistant hurried over. Before long, the paparazzi left their cameras behind one by one, and filed out like school children. Shen Buyu quickly freshened herself up, then called for 2 new outfits to be delivered. She remained silent and said nothing to me. Anyone could see this had been carefully staged. Unless someone had leaked the news and paid them. The paparazzi would have to be crazy to ignore celebrities and come chase gossip about a business titan. And that person could only be me, the one who had suddenly appeared in that room last night. After all, a bankrupt young master would do anything for money, would he not? A huge false accusation landed squarely on my shoulders. I had no proof to clear my name. I could only clutch the hem of Shen Buyu's clothes and desperately explain. It was not me. I did not call those reporters. I did not set up what happened last night either. Please, you have to believe me. The pressure of recent months had long worn away. My young master's temper and pride. In the past, if someone had framed me like this, I would have fought no matter what to set the record straight. But now, I had no right to lose my temper. All that swallowing my pride had crushed me until I could not lift my head. All I wanted now was for her to believe me. I was rambling incoherently, close to breaking down. After all, I was truly panicking then. For the past 2 years, she had been a city's most renowned business titan, while I was merely a down and out young heir from a family on the verge of bankruptcy. If she wanted to destroy me, it would be as easy as crushing an ant. Shen Buyu lowered her eyes to look at me. After a moment, she took my hand and moved it aside, then gently adjusted the black suit draped over me and fastened its buttons. She gave a quiet hum and said evenly, I know, I believe you. From then on, Shen Buyu and I were together. She helped pay off my family's debts and publicly declared me her boyfriend. But I felt Shen Buyu did all this only because she was a decent person. After all, without that night, our paths would never have crossed. So I always felt I owed her. Though I was a victim too, the person behind it was still my stepmother, at least in name. But Shen Buyu was reserved and refined, almost excessively polite to me. She was the kind of person who, even before kissing me, would ask my permission first. So if not for that diary, I would rather have believed that seeing those floating comments meant I was losing my mind. To confirm the comments were telling the truth, I deliberately put on a white shirt again. This time, I chose an even more eye-catching one, thinner and tighter fitting. Soon, Shen Buyu came home from work and knocked on my bedroom door. I took a deep breath and opened it. The moment she entered, she hurriedly said, Fang Xiu, But when she saw the shirt I was wearing, she suddenly froze. Her eyes went wide as she stared straight at me. Seeing her like that, I awkwardly scratched my head, but still spoke in a deliberately provocative tone. You said I was not allowed to wear this in the morning. What about at night? I quietly waited for her response. Yet Shen Buyu did not answer for a long time. After a while, she lowered her gaze, then held out the beautiful bouquet in her hand. When she spoke, her tone was still cool, though her voice sounded strangely hoarse. I am sorry my tone was harsh this morning. I was not angry at you. Please do not be upset. Those usually gentle eyes now held a hint of earnest pleading. I felt a little uncomfortable and looked away. I know. Just do not let it happen again. As I took the bouquet from her arms, I leaned a step closer. My lips accidentally brushed beside her ear. A fleeting, feather-light brush. But I still heard it. Shen Buyu's breathing caught for a moment. After dinner, one of Shen Buyu's subordinates called her to discuss work. I leaned against the sofa and smiled softly at her. Our eyes met. Her expression did not change. Her gaze merely skimmed over me, and phone in hand, she walked straight into the study. I paused, somewhat disappointed. She had work to handle. Was my little move not seductive enough? Or were the floating comments false? Countless thoughts tangled in my mind. I walked to the study, wanting to tempt her one last time. Through the half-closed door, I could vaguely see Shen Buyu reclining in a black leather chair. I was about to push the door open and go inside, when I suddenly heard a strange, unmistakable sound. I froze for a moment and looked inside. Shen Buyu was actually holding a photo of me. My face instantly burned hot. She was actually doing that while looking at my photo. My hand on the doorknob pressed down on instinct. With a creak, the door opened. I had just lifted my foot, ready to rush in and confront Shen Buyu. But I stopped again. It was too embarrassing. How was I supposed to ask? I was a little annoyed. It wasn't my fault, I was so oblivious. With Shen Buyu acting so aloof, who could have guessed that beneath that cool, refined exterior, she was actually a creepy, secretly lustful freak? Taking a deep breath, I cowardly closed the door softly again. Then I fled, arms and legs hopelessly out of sync. Forget it. I would find time to have a proper talk with her later. Before I had figured out how to confront Shen Buyu, my stepmother's birthday banquet arrived first. I had not wanted to go, but there were still some things left in my bedroom, so I went back anyway. My stepmother was the primary heir to my father's estate. The villa my mother had personally designed had been transformed into a gaudy, nouveau-rich eyesore straight out of the city's outskirts. My stepmother stood in the middle of the crowd, dripping in jewels, accepting everyone's flattery. I gave a mocking laugh and rolled my eyes. I remembered that chaotic night with Shen Buyu 2 years ago. Afterward, I had rushed over to confront her. My stepmother knelt before me, sobbing through snot and tears, slapping herself over and over. Fang Xiu, I had no choice. You could not just stand by and watch your father's business be taken away by those people, could you? It was your father's life's work. I looked into it. That girl Shen Buyu is young and accomplished, and keeps herself above reproach. She has not had a single scandal in all these years. You would not lose out by being with her. I bit the inside of my mouth raw. I glared viciously at my stepmother, hatred tearing through me. I hated my father for misjudging her, for marrying a vicious woman like my stepmother. I also hated her for setting me up. But more than anything, I felt helpless. I was only 20. Both my mother and father were already gone. I was all alone. In this world, there was no one left who would truly love me. Forget it. I did not want to think about such unhappy things. I went alone to the back garden, wanting some fresh air. Instead, I ran into my stepbrother talking with his friends. They all paused when they saw me, then quickly looked away as if nothing had happened, treating me as though I were invisible. I had no desire to waste my anger on them. I was about to turn and leave when I heard their mocking voices. "And Lan, you and the Zhao family's second daughter, are you getting engaged?" "Yes, we have even picked the date. It is the 5th of next month." "Wonderful. What a talented man and a beautiful woman, made for each other. Unlike your brother. Just wait and see who will want him after this." I stopped in my tracks, then walked over and shoved the man hard, and Lan immediately jumped to his friend's defense. "Fang Xiu, how dare you hit someone? I am telling mother." Without expression, I turned toward him and shoved again, sending Lan crashing to the ground. He hit a stone. He cried out in pain. All his swagger vanished. He could only sit there and glare at me. After a long while, he finally choked out, "Fang Xiu, you maniac." I gave a cold laugh. "You act out in front of me, and this is already letting you off easy. If I were you should be thanking me profusely. If I had not gotten together with Shen Buyu, and she had not helped pay off every debt this family owed, do you think you could still be living comfortably as the pampered young heir? You would be sleeping on the street by now." My long-suppressed anger and resentment finally burst out, raising my voice. "And do you think I chose this? Do you think I like living this way? Your mother sent me into her room, but did she ever ask what I wanted?" The two men across from me had been sneering, but the next instant, their faces went deathly pale. They immediately fell silent, puzzled. I turned around. Shen Buyu stood beside the flower beds with her head lowered. She looked deeply hurt, as though she were about to shatter. Her lips pressed tightly together. She stared at me, then spoke after a long silence. So, you do not want to be with me, do you? Before I could react, she turned and ran away. After hearing that, Shen Buyu did not come home for 3 full days. Her secretary did keep relaying her instructions right on schedule. Mr. Fang, President Shen will be staying at the office tonight. She asked you to go to bed early and not sneak ice cream in the middle of the night. Clutching my phone, I was so angry I almost laughed. She had run away, yet she was still worried about the 2 tubs of ice cream in my freezer. Tell her to come home early when she is done working. I will be waiting for her at home. The secretary excitedly agreed 3 times in a row, but Shen Buyu still did not come home. She ignored my messages and would not answer my calls, but gifts arrived at the house 3 times a day. On the first day, it was a limited edition watch. On the second, a new car. By the third day, even property documents arrived. How was this supposed to make up with me? It looked more like an advance breakup settlement. I did not sign the property documents. I had the secretary take back the new car keys too. Only the watch remained on the table. It was not because I was greedy. It was because an inscription on the back read, Fang Xiu, remember to eat on time. Even her breakup settlement came with a reminder. I picked up my phone and sent the secretary a list of returns. Tell Shen Buyu, gifts cannot replace an explanation. If she wants to break up, she can come back and say it herself. At the same time, and Lan's engagement to the Zhao family's second daughter fell through. Someone gathered proof that he had been seeing several people at once overseas into a portable document format file and sent it to the Zhao family. The project my stepmother had expected Shen Buyu to invest in was abruptly suspended as well. Not a cent of the promised money came through. I did not need to ask who was behind it. Shen Buyu would not come home, but she never stopped getting even from me. I asked the secretary to forward me that document. Chat logs, dates, photos. Every item was backed by evidence. Shen Buyu had not fabricated anything. She had only taken what Lan had hidden and placed it in the hands of those who needed to see it. As for my stepmother's funding, Shen Buyu had merely withdrawn the project funds meant to save the Fang family. The money had always been hers. She simply did not want to keep plugging my stepmother's financial holes. No one could fault her for that. In the past, I would have laughed out loud at this. This time, I could not laugh at all. Dinner still had all my favorite dishes, but the seat across from me was empty. After washing my hair, no one waited at the bathroom door holding a hair dryer. Whenever my stomach hurt, Shen Buyu would leave stomach medicine and warm water by my bed, then lock away every cold drink in the fridge. The medicine was still here, but the woman holding the key was not. The scrolling comments were laughing their heads off. Ms. Robot is hiding at the office because she is scared to go home. She automatically filtered Fang Xiu's whole speech down to, he does not want to be with me. I nearly threw my cushion. Why does she even have a mouth if she won't use it? Could she not just ask? Even more infuriating, the comments said Shen Buyu had liked me for a long time. I immediately sat up straight. A long time ago. Had we met before? The comments went quiet for 2 seconds, then flooded in even faster. Only then did I remember what happened when I was 17. I was playing a game of dares with a group of rich kids. Someone egged me on to steal a poor student's lunch, saying they wanted to see the aloof genius lose her temper. Under the shade of a tree, Shen Buyu wore a faded school uniform. She held a workbook in one hand and a cold bun stuffed with wild greens in the other. I snatched it and took a bite. It was so bitter my eyes instantly welled up. What did you put in this? Shen Buyu looked completely baffled. It is wild vegetable filling. It is supposed to be bitter. For the first time, I realized what a jerk I was. I searched all over myself and found only a cafeteria card I had just loaded with money. I shoved the card into her hand. Get yourself something decent to eat. Then I ran off. That cafeteria card had 10,000 yuan on it. To me back then, it was only the cost of a few parties. But for Shen Buyu, it fed her through her entire senior year. From 17 to 27. From an impoverished student to a city's rising business star. She remembered it for 10 whole years. No wonder, on that chaotic night 2 years ago, when she saw my face clearly, her guard suddenly fell. How could it be you? The next day, those people burst in to secretly film us. I was so panicked I could barely speak. Yet Shen Buyu never doubted me, not once. First, she had her assistant collect every memory card. Then she had someone pull the hotel hallway footage. The footage of my stepmother helping me upstairs, along with her payments to the people hired to secretly film us, was all preserved. But I had been too afraid then to ask why she trusted me unconditionally. I had always thought of that night as our humiliating first meeting. But to Shen Buyu, it was a reunion she had waited 10 years for. With that thought, I grabbed my car keys and drove straight to her office. The night wind after the temperature drop was freezing. Standing outside her building, I called her. The busy signal sounded for a long time before Shen Buyu answered. Fang Xiu, I am in a meeting. I do not care. I am outside your office building right now. It is freezing out here. If you do not come down, I will catch a cold just to show you. A chair scraped across the floor on the other end. Get back in your car and turn on the heat. I will be right down. Less than 3 minutes later, Shen Buyu rushed out through the main entrance. She wore only a white shirt, but clutched a thick long coat in her arms. The moment she wrapped the coat around me, the deep furrow in her brow finally eased. Sorry, I am late. I immediately hooked my arm through hers. You are not late. Her body stiffened for a moment, but she could not suppress the smile tugging at her lips. Once we entered her office, I noticed. The coffee table was covered in my favorite snacks. The magazines I usually read sat beside the couch too. Shen Buyu handed me a cup of hot ginger tea. Drink some first, do not catch a chill. I did not take it. Instead, I grabbed her suit lapel. Shen Buyu, would it kill you to stop pretending you do not care? She froze. Did you only hear me say I did not want it, and miss what I said before that? What I did not want was being drugged by my stepmother and sent into a stranger's room. It was not being with you that I did not want. How are those even the same thing? Shen Buyu stared at me without blinking. So, you did not come to break up with me. Fuming, I gripped her lapel tighter. If I wanted to break up, would I come freeze out here in the middle of the night? She looked down at me and finally said the words. Fang Xiu, I like you. I have since I was 17. I asked why she had never appeared in those 10 years. Shen Buyu fell silent for a moment. In high school, I had nothing. The people around you, any one of their coats could have fed me for 6 months. I did not dare get close to you. Later, when I was finally able to stand before you, the Fang family fell into trouble. I wanted to help you openly, but your stepmother sent you into that room first. As she said this, she gripped the cup of ginger tea tighter. I was afraid you would hate me too, so I only dared to repay your debts. I did not dare tell you that the money was never paid out of a sense of responsibility. My heart skipped a beat, but I still did not let her off easy. If you like me, why not say so? I was afraid you would think I was using my help to demand something from you. I was also afraid that, if I got too close, those thoughts would scare you. I released her lapel and held up 3 fingers. No running away anymore. No using gifts instead of explanations. And do not decide for me whether I want you. Okay. Then I pointed to the documents on the table. Were you the one who sent that evidence about Inlan? Yes. What about my Stepmother's money? I pulled my investments. I did not touch her personal assets. Shen Buyu answered without hesitation, then put the decision back in my hands. If you do not want me to continue, I will stop. No, do not withdraw the evidence. But when it comes to my family matters, tell me first from now on. Okay. Then I asked, do you want to kiss me? Her breath caught, but she asked first. May I? I tilted up my face. Obviously. The next day, I prepared to move everything I had left behind at the old villa. Out for good. Shen Buyu went back with me. This time, I hired a moving company and made an itemized list in advance. I would take my parents' photos, manuscripts, and belongings. I would not touch a single thing my stepmother had added later. Before going in, I sent the list to my lawyer for the record, so no one could accuse me after everything was moved. The storage room was covered in dust. I searched for ages before finding a high school graduation photo in a drawer. The photo had yellowed with age. In a corner of the back row, Shen Buyu wore her old school uniform, but her gaze passed over everyone else and rested on me, standing diagonally ahead. Back then, I smiled without a care in the world, never knowing someone had secretly watched me for all those years. I slipped the photo into the inner compartment of my suitcase. Shen Buyu handed me a card from behind. It is the cafeteria card from back then. I looked down and saw my name still written in the lower right corner. You actually kept it all this time. Yeah. The card stopped working long ago, but she had kept it carefully in a clear card sleeve. I placed the graduation photo and cafeteria card side by side in the compartment. Just as I closed the suitcase, my stepmother rushed in and blocked the door. She looked far more haggard than she had at the birthday banquet, yet she opened her mouth with the same twisted logic. You must be feeling very pleased with yourself now. Shen Buyu likes you so much. You will not have to worry about anything from now on. The two of you being together is all thanks to me, is it not? I took out my phone and immediately hit record. Say that again. My stepmother's expression stiffened. You drugged me, sent me unconscious into someone else's room, and arranged for people to secretly film it in advance. That was not matchmaking. It was a crime. What if Shen Buyu had not been in that room that night? What if she had woken up and not believed me? What would have become of me? What choice did I have? If I had not done it, we would have been penniless long ago. I do not regret it. Her words were captured clearly in the recording. I saved the file and sent a copy each to myself and my lawyer. Shen Buyu had been standing behind me, never speaking for me. When my stepmother lunged to snatch my phone, Shen Buyu seized her wrist. Do not touch him. I lifted my suitcase. Let's go. In this house, there was nothing left I wanted to take. Not long after, my stepmother died of illness. Only then did I learn from my lawyer that she had been diagnosed long ago, but had never sought treatment. She had rushed to arrange Lan's marriage and recklessly poured money into investments. Perhaps before she died, she wanted to leave her biological son a way out, but none of that erased what she had done to me. My lawyer gave me a letter from her. She apologized in it and begged me not to go after Lan anymore. She said he knew nothing about what happened that year. At the end of the letter, she wrote, if I could do it over, I would not take that step again. Those words did not move me. She was the one who could have a second chance. I was the one whose life could have been destroyed. When I finished, I put the letter back in its envelope. Her apology was her business. Accepting it or not was mine. I did not forgive her. As for Lan, I had not planned to keep taking revenge on him anyway. I had my lawyer verify it. In the hotel transfers, calls, and surveillance footage from 2 years ago, there was no record of Lan's involvement. He was sharp-tongued and vain, and he had been unfaithful in relationships. But I could not blame him for my stepmother's crimes just because I disliked him. After handling his mother's funeral, he quickly decided to leave the country. Before he left, I had my lawyer give him a bank card. After Lan received it, he called me of his own accord for the first time. What do you mean by this? There are 3 million yuan on the card. It is the share that should have gone to you after the estate was settled. Do you not hate me? I do hate you. That is why this is not a gift from me. It is what you are entitled to. As for the Zhao family calling off the engagement, the evidence was all real. You have no one to blame. And Lan did not argue back. Do not read too much into it. We still hate each other. The line went quiet for a long time. His words reminded me of before an exam when I was 15. My blood sugar had dropped, and I was crouched in the stairwell, unable to stand. And Lan passed by and shoved a piece of chocolate into my hand. Do not read too much into it. We are still enemies. Let us call a 5-minute truce first. It was such a small thing, yet I remembered it for years. Neither Lan nor I said another word. After the call ended, I did not block his number, but I did not call him back either. At the end of the year, Shen Buyu and I went shopping. We stopped by our old school first. That cafeteria card, unused for years, had been remade by Shen Buyu into 2 card charms. One hung from my car keys, and one hung inside her briefcase. I complained that it looked worn. This was the first betrothal gift I ever received. 10,000 yuan was all it took to marry President Shen, and it came with a bun that had already been bitten as a bonus. Enough. As soon as we reached the parking lot, several people who had once burst into that hotel room spotted us, and immediately put away their cameras. President Shen, Mr. Fang, we are not here to photograph you. Please, do not worry about today. We did not see anything. Shen Buyu glanced at me, then suddenly raised our clasped hands. Our 2 wedding rings touched beneath the lights. There is no need to hide. Her tone was calm, but she could not hide the smile on her lips. My husband has made it official. Take all the pictures you want. They froze for 2 seconds, then hurriedly offered their congratulations. We had actually registered our marriage a few days earlier. Shen Buyu had asked me beforehand whether I wanted a grand proposal. Thinking of those people filming in secret, I firmly shook my head. Our relationship could be public, but whether I agreed to marry him did not need an audience cheering us on. So she only prepared the rings and our marriage registration documents. That morning, I was barely awake when Shen Buyu slipped a men's ring onto my finger. The band was simple, with 17 and 27 engraved inside. She placed the other ring in my palm. Fang Xiu, will you marry me? I deliberately teased her. I thought President Shen only knew how to write in her diary. Her ears instantly turned red, but she did not retreat this time. I will not write in it anymore. Whatever I want to say, I will tell you to your face. I took the ring and slipped it onto her ring finger. That is more like it. In the parking lot, camera shutters clicked in rapid succession. Mr. Fang, it is time to go home. I swung our intertwined hands. All right.